Hi, so for today's video I'm going to share about my first week working in a Japanese company. So in my previous video I actually shared about the training, like the 1.5 month training, and at that time, as I said, we didn't really work, but it's just mainly kind of like a summer camp. But now I think like this week has passed and I just kind of like done with my first week, and I'm going to share about what I did and how I felt about working from home. So the emergency state declaration hasn't been lifted last week, so it's quite rare, but I started my work at home and using Zoom. We kind of like have like a morning briefing with the department. So I actually got into a very big department that working close with engineers. And by the way, I'm not an engineer. I work for kind of like the marketing. And after that, after the big department, then I went to I got specifically to the marketing department, and then we kind of like had a briefing with the supervisor, we call it kacho, and also my OJT. So what is OJT? OJT means on-job training. So there will be kind of like the senior employee that will give you the direction of what work to do, like mostly every day, and the OJT seniors are also in charge of new employees, train them to become ready for working by their own for this 1 year. For this 1 year, I'm going to be under the OJT and not my supervisor or the kacho. So all my works, all my assignments will come from her. It's a she. Okay. And I also got kind of like 2 mentors. So what these 2 mentors did is that, because OJT mainly give me kind of like work assignments, so if I have any kind of like personal questions or just something to kind of like complain or just having someone to talk, I was assigned to mentors that comes from different departments. So in the case that I had kind of like some complaints, sorry that it's very loud, I live in an area that is quite loud. Okay, so if I had some complaints about my marketing department, I can do it with my mentors. So it was great to know, and my OJT, and we had kind of like a little briefing. So for my first day, I didn't really work, but kind of like they just asked me questions. What did I learn about the training? What do I want to do? My personal goals, that kind of thing, and maybe just kind of like setting up the system, how to do the system, how to log in, log out, and many more. And then, so the second day, I think it was kind of just like an introduction of the product that I have to take over next year. So it's about the virtualization, and it's quite hard, I'm going to be honest, because I had zero knowledge about virtualization and about IT. So, and my OJT senior said that, oh, it's actually okay, perfectly okay, because the company didn't actually require you to really understand it by the time you got in. And that's usually it is in Japanese company. They actually spend 1 year to actually train you. So my 1 year will basically mostly about studying about the products and maybe just do the daily mails, but mostly it will be kind of like a following up my OJT senior's work. So if she needs any help with replying email, with checking documents, I'll be doing that. So in conclusion, I think like your first year in Japanese company will be very similar to internship. but the difference is the payment is in full and not the internship payment, and you also get the benefits like the health insurance and other insurance at all. Yeah, so that's actually the good thing. And then I will talk about my daily routine. So in the morning I have to kind of like log in into the system, so to prove that I am working at 9. And then at 9:35 we kind of like have a morning meeting and basically just briefing what each person are going to do every day. And then I usually check my email and see if my OJT seniors assign me any kind of task. Also, me and my OJT kind of like we use Google spreadsheet to list down what kind of task that I have to do, and I have to write, you know, like if it's done then it's completed, if not done, not done. If it's yeah, you know, kind of like inputting my progress of each task so that my OJT seniors can see whether she will add more or she would reduce more. So it's quite nice, and I didn't have to, you know, like have Zoom meeting with my OJT for like the whole day. It's usually like during the meeting. Okay, and then after the morning meeting, then we do our own tasks, and usually my OJT doesn't really give me like a timely deadline, but usually it's like a daily deadline. So for example, this task should be done today, this task should be done tomorrow, and basically that was it. So my second day is basically just that. And then my third day, my OJT kind of like, okay, maybe you should kind of like experience what real life meeting is like. So she said I join the meeting and maybe write the meeting notes, so like Yijiroku, and I did. I joined the meeting through Zoom, and I just write whatever they say. And to be honest, there are a lot of IT words that I didn't really know, but I just write everything. But thankfully my first meeting went pretty smooth, and it's just basically some of the words I didn't understand because it's very technical. However, I do know the progress, what the client wants and what we have done, and then what are the most important things, usually like by what date it should be done, or like our company will give email or somewhat like that. And I made the meeting notes, and the feedback was pretty good, and just basically some other correction. However, and then I think the fourth day I went to another meeting, and this was like the hell, because there wasn't any technical terms. So it's basically just like a normal meeting talking about like, you know, kind of like structural. But my Japanese wasn't really good either, so I had problem with the listening. Not really listening, but I had problem with catching up because they talk so fast, and especially when they talk something that was not on the PPT. For example, like follow-up questions, it was kind of hard to catch up. Okay, what did she ask and what did she answer? So it's kind of like, you know, my mind was like, oh goodness. So what I did is that I make a recording using my phone, and I tried to listen it one more time, and it actually helps. I think that can only be done because in Zoom they didn't really know whether you record it or not, but usually recording is not allowed. So yeah, so maybe try to ask permission from your OJT if you really need to record or not. But some of my colleagues did that, like to record, so I did that as well to help me to actually understand what has been discussed in the meeting. So most of my first week I kind of struggle in making the meeting notes, but other than that, actually it's quite okay. I need to also read about like a contract. It was my first time to really thoroughly read a contract about the products, like the, you know, the terms and conditions. So that's a part of my job as a product manager, product marketing. Yeah, however, thankfully it was all in English, so it didn't actually took a lot of time. I didn't have to, you know, like research all of the words, but mainly just some technical and law jargon that I didn't understand. So it went pretty nice. Okay, so what I felt about my first week, it was like kind of like nice that my OJT kind of, you know my progress, that she kind of like give me a break and challenged me at the same time. She didn't kind of like just give me boom and this what are the tasks you have to do, kind of like give me like a deadline till when I had to finish, so that's kind of good. And also I joined 3 meetings overall. I will be honest, maybe that's one of the hardest, but overall it's quite nice, and I will try my best for my second week, especially for the meeting notes, and trying to like write it in as clearly as possible. I also got overall feedback that the good thing is I understood. She was kind of surprised that I understood, some technical words. Not that I understood, but because I kind of like am good with imagining, oh, this kind of technology will help in this and this and that. So it wasn't that hard to catch the over grabs. So the meeting, I kind of like understand maybe like 60%. Yeah, so it's not that bad, not like 30 or 0. So it's not that bad. However, I need to improve on, maybe this is where my Japanese language barrier came. I need to improve on my Japanese writing and try to make it more clearly, like what I want the other person to do. So this is where maybe like some of you might struggle during your first job in Japanese company, because usually in English it's pretty easy, right? Can you help me? You say it in first, but then in Japanese that all comes later. So sometimes I didn't just write, I just like expect that she knows what I mean, but that's not the case. So I need to write like, can we set a meeting? Can you check it for me? Can you tell me? Can you explain one more time? So make it very, very clear. And she said that I kind of like did not put it there. So yeah, not too bad. At least my first week impression is not bad, and I made a good impression for my OJT, so done. So I will try hard for my second week, and I hope that I get better. And even if I don't get better, at least I kind of like can not get too stressed. So that's all. Thank you for those who have watched, even though just like 50 people. I'm okay. If you really want to know more about how is it like working in Japanese company, particularly in like IT company, feel free to write down in the comments what kind of questions you want me to answer. Bye!